Let's just say today, I'm an LO, I've been in the business 3 years and I need to grow. What would you advise?
I would have more conversations. Whatever, if you like playing pickleball, get involved with pickleball, because whatever you love doing, you're going to meet people that have similar interests and you'll enjoy having conversations with them. And, I love working out now, so I'm at the gym. Well, everyone at the gym knows I'm in mortgage. Not that I'm pitching mortgage to them, but they know that I do that. And from that, I've had people come out from the gym and are like, hey, John, we're buying a house, or we want to buy a house. We don't know what to do. So my advice would be, whatever you enjoy doing, like, get out in the community and just start asking questions, talking to people.
John, welcome to the show.
What's up, Geoff? Thanks for having me. Appreciate
it. Thanks for carving out a time of your busy schedule to be here. You're in my old stomping grounds, Orange County, Newport Beach area. I now live in Vegas, but spent like 30 some odd years in Southern California. It is a very competitive market for mortgage professionals. Would you agree?
Extremely, extremely competitive. I think this was the mecca of mortgage in the early 2000s. If I'm not mistaken, I think every big mortgage company was here in Orange County. So, yeah. And everyone and their mother was in mortgage.
So how do you stand out in a sea of noise?
Just by being myself, and hopefully people are attracted to it. And there's going to be some people that don't really like John Farrell.
What,
so
right?
That's cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in Orange County, right, we've got, it's last I checked, roughly 3 million people live there. Thousands of transactions per month. Obviously, we're in a bit of a different, Orange County's different. I call it a transaction recession. What are you seeing out there, by the way, for your market? What's happening?
I'm seeing houses go quick that are priced right, and other homes where they're shooting for the stars are sitting. And then price reductions. And Geoff, too, like those price reductions play into the mindset, the consumer and the media more than ever. So educating our clients on why they're seeing price reductions, and, and educating them on, hey, it doesn't mean the market is actually moving down. But it's been like, we had clients actually not here in Orange County, but up in the Pasadena area, right by the fire zone. There was 36 offers on this particular house. So wow. It's the houses that are priced right or really, really desirable are extremely competitive. Yeah.
So you mentioned Pasadena, and for those listening, they might not be aware. So you're in Newport Beach area, lovely area. And then Pasadena is probably about a 2-hour drive, right?
With traffic? Maybe
depending
more.
on a good day, on a good traffic day, 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say like minimum 2 hours, unless you're leaving at 5 in the morning.
Right. Exactly. So it makes me curious then, how is that a one-off, or do you step far outside of your general backyard to get business?
A lot of our business comes from my book of business, being in the business since, early 2000 or maybe even 99. So we're licensed in all 50 states. In December, we closed 15 units. 7 of those units were outside of California.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So this is an interesting conversation, right? Because go back to that transaction recession kind of headline. There is kind of overall volume is down, and I'm seeing some loan officers that have been around a while, like yourself and others, start to expand their footprint, whether it's within their existing state or outside. Was that some kind of conscious decision you made, or like what was behind that whole expansion thing?
If there was a decision that it was made, and I'm losing track of dates, but the inventory levels at one point here in Orange County, I think it was like 1,700 active listings. And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. We're in the mecca of the mortgage business. There's just a lot of loan officers here. It's extremely competitive. So I reached out to some agents in other states that we had worked on transactions previously and just said, hello, you don't remember me, but so that helped a little bit. And then obviously, we have a lot of clients here in Newport or in Orange County who have kids that are going to college and they want to buy their kids a smaller home versus rent, or live in
in different states.
In different states, yeah. So, and then we have a lot of clients buying multi-units in Indiana, Ohio, because they can cash flow a lot more. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What is your number one source of business?
I would say my book of business would be number one, and then realtors and and we've got 2 or 3 really strong financial advisors that send us clients consistently.
So by book of biz, you mean like past clients, all that?
Past clients, yeah.
Okay, great. So you're pretty proactive then with farming that?
I could be better.
Or
I mean, if I'm being honest, I
up?
could 100% be better at it. I would love to say that I'm the best at doing that, but there's a lot of room for improvement. But yeah, we have different processes that we've integrated into our system the last since COVID that have been keeping us top to mind. But I could definitely be better.
Is HomeBot one of those? I know I got the shirt on. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. HomeBot is one of those. HomeBot's one of the generic ways, I would say. It's not really a personalized way, even though I've done some videos on there. But I switched from Jungo, my CRM, from Jungo to Bonzo, and Bonzo has been actually really helpful in creating campaigns, post-closing campaigns, or hey, I haven't talked to you in a long time campaigns to past clients. So that's been helping out too. But just picking up the phone is like a good thing too, or sending a quick text.
Well, and I want to go back to something you alluded to a moment ago of like, could get better all the time. Because what people don't know is before we hit record, is that you did in 2024, $108 million. And one of the things you said to me is, the inner critic was the voice you used, right? Which was like, that whole voice of like, shit, man, you can get better. What about this? What about like that annoying little thing, right? And I just want to point that out to everybody listening and acknowledge you for the, I guess the humbleness, right? And the willingness, because when you get so high, like if you think you're all that, that's when you start to fall, right? When that what do you call that word? The pride takes over.
Pride.
Yeah, that's when it starts to undermine.
Yeah, I was sharing with you, Geoff. Like I'll be quick on the story, but when I was younger, my parents really, I love my parents. They didn't give me much, but my first job was picking up cigarette butts at a 7-Eleven in Kirkland, Washington. I was making like $2.75
that's a
an
job?
hour. That was a job. And everyone was smoking back then. So you can imagine the parking lot of the 7-Eleven was destroyed. And I'd carry a 5-gallon bucket, pick up cigarettes. And by the time I thought it was done, there was another 100 cigarettes on the ground. But I hated that job so much. But then there was this Italian restaurant. I think it was Tony Moroni's or something in Kirkland. But I saw these waiters and waitresses, and they're all dressed up nice. And I'm like, man, they're making a lot of money. So I went to the restaurant. And I'm like, hey, I really want to be a waiter here. And they're like, do you have experience? And I'm like, no, I'm only like 15 years old. They're like, well, no, you can't do that. You can be a dishwasher though. So I was a dishwasher. The amount of just like trash I got of noodles and everything else, these waiters and waitresses disrespected me so much. And I was just trying to hustle back there, and I would get out of there and I'd be all marinara sauced out. And so the reason why I share that with you is because when I finally made it to a waiter, the new dishwasher respected so much, and I would treat them, like they were a human being. I wasn't throwing stuff on them and all that. I think that kind of carried through into my later years. So like 100 million to me, it doesn't really mean much. I'm still the dishwasher,
Then what about this business? What keeps you engaged, passionate, right? Kind of getting after it. Well, I mean, after all these years, you're not jaded.
What's firing me up doing. I mean, I have 3 kids, 2 in college and a preschooler. So
life, baby. There you go.
The debt's definitely our motivator. I don't know. I just love people. I love, working with people. And I shared with you like the word that stuck with me this year. I'm good friends with Jeremy Forsyth, and he gave me advice on like, hey, choose one word every year. Like I think last year his word was impact. This year for me, it was curious. Be curious. So curiosity has really helped me.
Does that help you think, with meeting people, whether they're potential clients, referral partners?
I think so, because you're not coming off like if you go to a broker preview, right? I don't know if broker previews exist everywhere, but where the realtors are showing that their new listing, you used to walk in and you're like, I mean, I was guilty of this too. Hey, we got 30-year fixed rates at 2.375%. And they're like, yippee-ki-yay, like, get out of my house. Right. So I think just having curiosity and curious in the top of your your brain gets you to come off differently, and it's not all about making the sale or, what can this person do for me, but it's getting to know them and finding out what problems they have, and eventually being a solution provider to them. So, sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, sometimes they tell me to get out of the house, and that's totally cool. But for the people that I gel with, it works.
Give me a sense, if you could, and I know this has changed over time, but obviously a lot of us are listening right now, is probably a lot of people are in the place of, they want to grow their business, right? They want to add units. And I don't know if you mentioned Jeremy Forcier, you're probably in certain groups and coaching, and you have conversations with people. But let's just say today, I'm an LO. I've been in the business 3 years, right? And I need to grow. Like, what would you advise, or what would John do today?
I would have more conversations.
Okay.
Make more phone calls. Like, go out, whatever you like doing. Like the pictures are there. I used to love riding motorcycles. I don't anymore. My wife put a kibosh to that. But whatever, if you like playing pickleball, get involved with pickleball, because whatever you love doing, you're going to meet people that have similar interests, and you'll enjoy having conversations with them. And, I love working out now, so I'm at the gym. Well, everyone at the gym knows I'm in mortgage. Not that I'm pitching mortgage to them, but they know that I do that. And from that, I've had, people come out from the gym and are like, hey, John, we're buying a house, or we want to buy a house. We don't know what to do. So I think that my advice would be, whatever you enjoy doing, like, get out in the community and just start asking questions, talking to people.
Okay. Give me, do you have anything that's more scheduled, such as give us a glimpse into how you structure your activities, your biz development generation activities? What does that look like?
Well, if I'm being totally honest, my day is still ADD, like, it's chaos. So, but I do make sure that I set aside at least an hour and a half a day of reaching out to past clients or referral partners, in generating sales and business and leads. I think that's important. It's hard to do day in, day out, but I would definitely have conversations with, if you're getting back to your question, if you're brand new in the business, you've got to be out there. Or if you've closed, you're 3 years in the business, you've got closed transactions, reach out to those agents, whether on the listing side or the buy side. Say, hey, Mr. Mrs. So-and-so, I closed that deal for you a while back. I wanted to, connect with you and, follow up with your book of business, because your book of business are going to be your biggest cheerleaders. If you're doing if you're going above and beyond with them, they're going to be the easiest ones to get new business from.
Tell me, let's transition a little bit, if you don't mind. You kind of really stressed you've got 2 or 3 financial advisors that are significant referral partners for you. Makes me curious, what type of firms are they at? You know what I mean? Are they like boutique firms? Are they the big?
They're not at Merrill Lynch.
Not at Merrill Lynch. I'm trying to think of the other one, the big insurance guys. I can't remember them right now. The big insurance guy. Northwestern.
Northwestern, no. So they're a boutique. Seth Davis is one of my biggest ones. He's actually out of Denver, and I met him on a transaction in LA for a big celebrity at the time who doesn't use him anymore because he's made so much money. But we had a really good conversation during that transaction, and then he's been referring us business ever since. The thing that he likes, and that my other financial advisor likes, is that not that we use Mortgage Coach. They don't like, oh, I use you because of Mortgage Coach, but we use Mortgage Coach when talking to their clients, because a lot of clients will want to put more down. So we're looking at, well, maybe if you put less down, but keep the money invested with R&B Capital is one of them. Here's how your net worth would look versus putting larger amount down. So we're just having those conversations versus just like, here's your rate, here's the payment.
Right. You're being an advisor.
Yeah. And we're also, we're having conversations with clients that don't have advisors. And if they don't, and they meet the requirements of these particular FAs, we're connecting with them.
Are you doing the thing? Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, these 2 particular firms are high net worth clients. Like, they're big. But I would highly recommend getting, if you're new to, get to know some other financial advisors that have been in the business maybe 3 to 5 years, because they're going to take on a smaller net worth client, and you guys can grow together, and then you guys could get on social media and talk about how to grow your net worth, and everyone wants to grow their net worth and they want to make more. So I don't know, financial advisors though are a great resource for us.
Are you actively, there's, I'm sure a lot of people listening are familiar with this script perhaps, which is, on the 1003, right? You're asking them, do they have a financial advisor, right? Et cetera, looking to get that connection. Do you do that repeatedly or not really?
Not as good as Ryan Grant can do it, but we're doing it.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're doing, yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
coming up, because that's being curious, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So where I'd really like to do that better is on a lot of our clients have trust, and a lot of clients don't have trust, and they don't really know enough about trust. Connecting with a trust attorney is, if you can, I think that's a really viable source. I haven't had the success of connecting with a trust attorney that's been reciprocal in sending us business, even though I've sent them business. But there's so many avenues you can go down with getting new referral sources.
Yeah, it comes
partners.
down to the activities. It makes me curious. Have you ever done like events, classes, lunch and learns, that type of stuff, either early on or ongoing?
I don't like lunch and learns. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I hosted there's 15 agents that came to my house, and I had this trust attorney at the house. And that was really beneficial. But the cool thing with doing it at my house was everyone was kind of casual. It wasn't like going to a network mixer where everyone's uptight and all that. It was like a very cool setting, and that I do like doing. And in fact, that I have on my goal to do 4 of them this year, because it just provides a different setting than a lunch and learn.
What would you say? And I know this is all off the cuff, so I apologize if you feel like you're being put on the spot. For everybody listening, this was not rehearsed or planned, but any idea of roughly what your balance is of purchase to refi is?
I'm in October of last year. We obviously probably did 50% refi purchase, but I'm predominantly right now 98% purchase, 2% refi.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, if that says anything to you, what I could do a better job at is probably reaching out to my book of clients that need to do debt consolidation, and that would lead to more business and help them out. But majority of our clients are jumbo too. So when you're talking to clients that have 50,000 in credit card debt and they've got $1.2 million note at 2.875 rate, doing a blended rate analysis is not going to be very beneficial. So we're doing a lot of second mortgages right now too.
Interesting. Okay. Let's transition a bit to social media now, because I know you're pretty active on social. Your Instagram, we'll link it up in the show notes, but it's John E. Farrell, if I'm correct. You're pretty active with posting. Some of your reels have just taken off. I'm curious, like, what would you want to share about your journey on social so far, and any commentary in terms of getting business there, for example? Mm-hmm. Sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. Right. You wouldn't be you. Yeah. Polished. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Just be you. Just be you. Yeah. So how much then goes, because if, when people go to check out your Instagram, you've got some reels that are banging. I know you know that. You got one that's 9 million views, top 20 highest paying jobs. And so, I've done a fair amount of studying, and I could recognize why you're getting 9 million views on that. It's a pretty wide, right, audience target there. Any things you want to share about your content strategy, other than be real, be yourself, don't be overly polished, but what about the actual, topics and things like that? Are you mixing up mortgage specific versus more broad? What do you want to say on that? Really? To get people to comment? Oh yeah. Negative. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Pillars as in what? Family, finance, fitness, that kind of stuff. 8. I hear you. Okay. Yeah. Personal development. Yep. Well, speaking of vulnerable, you did post some videos about your recent child's birth. Like, that's pretty vulnerable. Oh, really? Very interesting. Okay. What are you focused on this year? Here we are entering April, almost 2025. What's got your attention this year? Doubling volume. By the way, how many transactions would that be? Sorry to interrupt you, but knows the numbers. There you go. Oh, nice. Are you taking the loan apps yourself over the phone? You got an online app? What does that look like? Yes, of course, man. Okay. So you might have like a pre-call or whatever, right? Just go, okay, I'm going to send you my link. Yeah, better for conversions. Are you running into, you got a lot of fence sitters and are waiting for rates to drop or whatever? Yeah, it's interesting. It's top of mind. You mentioned Mortgage Coach, and I use both that and MBS Highway. And, each of them have their own version of tools to demonstrate a cost of waiting, with the equity appreciation and all that fun stuff, even if the rates to come down a point. I was just curious if you did anything like that for people listening. And to your point about the strategy call, I think that is a huge differentiator. Every top producer, 100 million, almost every, okay, I know nothing's 100%, but I don't know of a highly effective, I'll underline that word, mortgage professional today that's not using some type of a visual scenario conversation to move people forward in the process. Yeah, please go ahead. My camera comes back online. Sam, baby. Hell yeah. Sam and I talked last week. We're talking again on Wednesday. I know where you're going. Go ahead. Plug it. 100%. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I had Mortgage Coach when it was a CD that I had to buy and load it on the laptop. 2003. That's when I entered. 2003. Countrywide Home Loans. Orange County, Mission Viejo, the fast and easy. Oh yeah, for sure. They're both awesome. Sam's product looks great as well. Okay, cool. So we've talked about your kind of top sources of business, which is your book of biz, realtors, and then these kind of 2 mega financial advisors you have. That's awesome. We talked about the activities, which is surprise, surprise, fundamentals, baby. Block and tackle, like you stressed, have conversations daily, weekly. Like there's no, wait a minute, John, where's the magic wand, the magic pixie dust that people want the easy button? Man, yeah. What about, all right, let's try this. What about early on in your career when you're building? Do you got to eat a lot of shit, right? Just to be like, okay, I got a deal. Well, the lesson there, though, is true colors. Like, how somebody treats you is kind of exemplary of how somebody's going to treat you, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, no matter what the situation. Good. Set your standards. For sure. And know your worth. Like know your worth. Like if you're doing a great job and you're busting your ass and you're helping facilitate that transaction at a service level that is exemplary, there's the word twice, then you deserve to hold yourself to a higher standard and who you work with and not put up with crap. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, listen, I know you're busy. You got to double your volume this year, so I got to let you go. But give us a shout out. What is your Instagram account, John? For sure. Well, there are definitely some nuggets we got from this conversation, John. I appreciate you making the time, and look forward to connecting with you soon, man. And listeners, you know what to do if you like this episode. Hey, leave us a review. Check out John's Instagram link in the show notes. If you got like one idea at least or more from this conversation, DM him. Let him know on Instagram. Appreciate you guys tuning in. See you on the next one.